All right. um, what's up, everyone? Um, yes, I am back on YouTube. I'll explain here in a little bit why, and and just talk about some certain things that's been going on. Um, what the future holds. Uh, Live streaming YouTube and all that stuff. So. But anyways, hope everyone's having a good Monday. I was thinking about doing iRacing, but I won't be able to chat with you guys if I'm racing. So figured I'll do this tonight and then talk about other things that's gonna go on this summer with iRacing and leagues and stuff. So let's. I'm trying to just get in runs, quick runs, things like that, just to have some fun. Try to unlock some of these. Oh. Let's start over here. 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll start short, then kind of work a little bit longer. Justin. Then I'll just talk about some things that have been going on. Been going through my mind recent stuff. Cattle. I'll fall through the sky. Oh, please tell me you're gonna fix it. Boy, all of it. Come on, load in. There you go.
Drive safe.
Weird. Okay. That was weird. There's gonna be stutters. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. Try to fix it, just doesn't work. So, oh crap! I need F2. Yeah, there we go.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Once you get out of some towns, it gets a little bit better. Right now, in towns, it doesn't like it. But
Get ready to turn left.
so let's talk why I'm back on YouTube.
Turn
All
left.
right. So here's the thing. This kind of came over me like just in a few hours about some things. Oh, come on. You know what? Forget it. I got enough money. I really don't want to do. It's kind of gotten to my attention about things that I need to be focusing on here soon.
Take the second exit.
It is May, going to be in June here. Practically almost. Oh, I had a wreck. Stopped. you know, eventually we'll be halfway through the year already, and they're supposed to be in. I guess I can.
Exit now.
And basically, I had to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. Once the September, October rolled around, and hey, what's up, man? How's it going? And talking about what I basically need to start doing with my life once it gets into September, October, because by then I have like absolutely no choice but start looking for jobs and seeing what would fit me as best I can to work. But what that means is, I felt like Twitch, even though, yeah, maybe eventually it would pay it off, from what I'm hearing, it's a short-term gain, long-term loss over there. Because once you reach a certain level, there's nothing else they do for you. You go partner, great. It really doesn't matter, because basically you're still getting the same split money, I guess, now over there. If you were an affiliate, it doesn't matter if you're a partner or affiliate, you still get the same split revenue. Also, on top of that, you kind of almost stop getting people at a certain time. Now over here, does it take a lot longer to find people and to get people to watch your stuff? Absolutely, because YouTube is a very big platform, and it's very big just in general. Like it takes time to get your content out to more people. I still feel like YouTube still has its issues where it doesn't help the little person. I think it should, but it doesn't. It always still feeds on the bigger groups, which, okay, I understand. They're the bread and butter. They're the ones that really make more of the money in ad revenue, but I feel like they still kind of a little bit discriminate on the small streamers. Once you reach a certain limit, especially if you reach 1,000 subscribers, then they start looking at you a little bit more. Still, I don't know. I feel like sometimes even YouTube doesn't help. So, and again, I'm sorry about the stutters. I can't help it. I've tried everything to get this to stop, but it doesn't work. But so basically what I'm trying to get at is that, am I going to live stream on YouTube now? Yes. But this is basically the end game, if I call it. Basically, I'm doing this until I can't do it anymore, which probably will be around, well, maybe October. The problem is waiting too long to start looking for jobs too late in the season, because once you get to October, November, they're more looking for people for seasonal, not necessarily part-time, full-time. So that's where it's a little challenging where I live. You know, that's what happens. They look for seasonal people, not more part-time and full-time. Of course, with the way the economy is and businesses are right now, they're not necessarily looking for full-time people, mostly part-time. And even part-time people don't get good money, so, but it is what it is. Anyways, basically, from now on, I am just going to keep doing this as best I can. And if it works out before I have to look for a job, then it works out. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. That's all I can do, so. But I will, I'm gonna do that, and how it goes. There you go. And what does that mean for like live streaming and stuff? Like tonight I was gonna do iRacing, but like I said, I won't be able to chat with you guys for the most part just because I have to focus on racing. But here soon, I keep saying soon, but I don't know exactly the time frame yet. But eventually, I will be doing the OCRP iRacing League, and that will be starting up here. I'm hoping there this is beginning of June, so in the next couple of weeks here or so. Also, I'm in another league with basically the same guys, just it's a completely different league on Wednesdays. So basically, my Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are gonna all be tied up on iRacing. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So that's the so I'm basically gonna be all tied up on iRacing. I guess what I'm trying to say on live streaming. On Tuesdays, are gonna be probably whatever. Probably doing Merit Truck Simulator, Wreckfest, just so I can have some sanity, because that's a lot of iRacing. 3 out of the 4 days that I stream, it's gonna be nothing but iRacing. So, I'm assuming at least Tuesday I will try to do something different.
Exit right. Get ready
Now,
to
when
turn left.
do I start doing that? I do not know. I'm thinking, like I said, I'm thinking it's gonna be the beginning of June.
Turn left.
Though who puts that this on? I don't know if you know these guys, but Jeff Fabiano and Civ Ryan put on the OCRP iRacing League, and
Get ready to turn right.
but when I'm hearing, they're supposed to go to some airplane expo thing for simulation flying.
Turn right.
So I don't know if they're gonna wait until after. Oh crap! Is there a train coming? Oh my god! It's a good thing I stopped. Good thing I stopped. But oh, don't be stopping right there. I thought it was. It's going a lot slower now. But them going, that thing is supposed to be like end of June. I think he said June 26th. So I'm hoping he's not waiting until after the fact, because that pushes the week. Oh, he is, yeah.
This is where
He's a good guy, but he's doing this expo stuff. Why? So I'm hoping he's not gonna wait until after that to start the league, because that'll put it on. I'll put it into July, which then it's 13 weeks, which then drops that. It's gonna take about 2 months and 1 week. I want to say, yeah, no, 3 months and 1 week. It's 13 weeks, so yeah, so 3 months and 1 week. So that would put it July, August, September. That'd be beginning of October before that league would end. So I don't know if he wants to wait that late or what, but and then basically the other league that I'm in for Wednesday would be that Wednesday would follow the same route as OCRP, so we can keep doing it at the same time. Which I don't mind. That's fine. Do it all together. One makes more content for me. Plus, two, keeps you in that momentum of racing, not stopping at weird times. Hey, what's up, Harvey? How's it going? So yeah, that's basically what is going to be happening. For as far as I can go, I guess. But uh, here 9 hours. That's good, man. So if you came in late, just letting you know that I will be back on YouTube and until I can't do this anymore, basically, and it's go for broke now. Um, if I can't start making, when I say make money, I get monetized on YouTube. Then by September, October, um, I will probably have to unfortunately get have to get a job, and hopefully I can keep it because health issues just doesn't is not good for me, and a lot of jobs just don't I guess I want to say they not only don't care, it's just that they hope that what you say you can do, you can do it, and like I've told a lot of people, I can do things. I could do pretty much anything like a normal person would do. The problem is that doing it for a long period of time and doing it for weeks on end, my body just can't handle it. In between the bulging disc issue in my neck to once winter shows up, which that's the worst part. Not knowing if we're gonna have actually winter, if we're gonna have a mild winter, if we're gonna have a mix in between. I don't really know. That's my main problem. So I've it's like trying to find a job that basically you don't do anything but make a lot of money doing it. It's and no, I don't have education to sit on my butt to be in an office. I don't have that kind of education, and no, I don't want to go back to school. I hate school. But I just don't. I don't have that kind of education for that, and so it's either basically work at Walmart, which the problem is the way I look, people are gonna think I can lift hundreds of pounds, which again I can, but it may not. I can only maybe do it maybe for a day, and then I can't do that for a while. I have to readjust my neck, get everything stretched out again. So there's a lot of things.
Time to hit the road.
I know the struggles. Man, first let me see. That's for breakfast. Okay. I know the struggles. Drugs. Yeah, man. It's like I worked at a lumberyard, and for a while I was doing great. I was no person until everything just went to crap real fast. Within a period of probably, I was there for 3 years, and then it really started to go downhill from there, and just never got better. And the specialist for my neck, he basically says, you know, I can give you cortisone shots, but after a while, you're gonna need surgery because you're gonna, if you abuse your neck too much, you're gonna have surgeries. And at that time, I've already had, well, actually, I think at that time I had already 5 surgeries, and that's due to my sinuses and stuff. I was just tired of having surgeries. Not fun to have surgeries at all. As much as you think you're getting a nice, good sleep, it's not that kind of sleep that you want. Oh my God! Holy lag! What is with this thing? There's got to be something that's causing this. I don't know what, but it's not the graphics. Cause I've had them low and it still does it. I have everything turned down as low as I can, but it still does it. The best thing about working from home. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if I knew a job that what I'm qualified to do, and you know, because I got a computer, I got everything that I could do if I could work from home from that reason, but I don't have any. For me, I just personally don't have the skills. I mean, I just have a regular high school diploma. That's pretty much it. There's nothing. Here in Tennessee, we get severe winter storms about every other year. Yeah, well, I live up in the Northeast in New York area. We usually always get winter storms. The thing is that sometimes we can get warm ups in between. My scientists just hate, when it goes from like days being in the 50s down into the 30s and jumps into the 60s the next day down to the 20s. It doesn't like that. And eventually my scientists kind of go, whoa, what are you doing? And after a few days after that, I don't want to get out of bed. My energy's gone, my head is spinning, I get lightheaded, I can't make sudden movements or I will fall over. It is absolutely just terrible. And that was my main problem once really for a while down at the lumberyards, I had that same issue. I tried to wake up the next day and it had been up in like in the 50s, the night was in the 30s. I wake up and my head's like whoosh. And I actually one time I did fall over. Thankfully I fell back into my bed. I stood up, I sat up, and then the head was spinning. I let it sit for a while and it started to calm down. And I said, all right, well, let me get up and see if I can just start moving. Maybe if I can get myself heated up, it'll be all right. I took one step and I started going forward. Where my bed is, it was next to a wall, so I caught myself off the wall, bounced off, and fell right back into my bed. And I said, nope, not going to work because I can't function. I'm working with lumber, and the last thing I need to do is injure myself or someone else because my head's not, on the right direction for me. It was just terrible. I have a friend from college. Used to drive Swift trucking. Uh-oh. No. He wasn't one of the bad drivers, right? No offense, but you always hear about that. It's like Swift drivers. Most of the winter storms just done us bad thunderstorms, but we get winter storm, we get snow, we get the blustery crap, and I mean this year I would say we had a mild winter. We didn't get as blasted with a lot of snow as we usually get. We had a mild winter, and this year was kind of bad for me for my sinuses because of it being mild. Now next year we could have it could be 20 degrees all the time with 10 feet of snow, and then that'll be okay for my head because at least it stayed cold. As long as it stays cold, or as long as it stays warm, it's fine. It just can't do that completely up and down dramatic temperature differences. And I found out very fast. I learned this. I don't know. It took me about let's see. Because I used to have sinus problems when I was very young, when I was even around 12 to 13. But it took me almost to my 20s to figure out the actual temperature that my body can't drop below. And literally, and no, I'm not kidding you. It's not because of, and I'm not saying it's because of the movie Speed. But literally 50. It drops below 50 degrees. My head hates it. And it jumps right back up into like the 70s or something. If it drops below 50 outside, I have to keep the inside at least at 75 degrees or higher. It's the weirdest thing. It took me a while to figure it out, but I was doing test after test trying to figure out what works, and I couldn't find out it was that kind of specific temperature. So I was like, huh. It's weird, but At least I figured it out. Husband were drivers, and she is now. Oh.
Go straight on.
But yeah, that's how unfortunate it is for me, but you know, I just deal with it every day, and I've dealt with it for all my life. I mean, I get medicine for what I can, go to doctors, try to at least. I mean, trust me, I could be a hell of a lot worse than could be, because if it wasn't for the surgeries I've had and stuff, I'd be way worse off. But still, it's not good even what I'm doing right now, and I could just feel just a little bit more where even the biggest swing differences don't really change the sciences. That's how my throat is when winter bounces back and forth. Gets sore and scratchy, then it's almost unbearable. Yeah, that's the funniest thing about me. Even though I get a lot of drainage and crap like that, I never get really sore throats. Never do. It's always trapped up in my sinuses. I beg to get it to drain. Most of what it is really ever since I had surgery to get rid of polyps in my forehead. My sinus tissues in there swell up. And they've been very sensitive to temperature swings. So I went in and had enough surgery to put in this. It was a device, a small spring device. They shoved into my nose and my sinuses, called Propel, and it shot off like little mini steroid shots, and it would hope to shrink all of that stuff down, which it did work for 2 years, like it was meant to be. It was to last about 2 years, and it worked. After those 2 years were up, sayonara, then I'm back to basically normal again. So, but yeah, it's been that kind of challenge. And the best thing is, if I could ever move, it's just to go south. I mean, I get even south can get their awkward, 30-degree temperatures here and there, but far few in between compared to living in the Northeast. So that's why if I could get south, that right there and there would change my life dramatically. Not saying I would never have sinus issues again, just it'd be probably a lot better off. 2021, I had sinus infection so bad that I was sent to the hospital for a this case of COVID. Yeah, I mean, I've never gone to the hospital for my sinuses like that. There's been times where I get sinus infections where I'm knocked out for a good week, maybe 2 sometimes. But never gone to the hospital for them. Usually once I figure out it's a sinus infection, they put me on antibiotics. And when I was very young, I would always be put on, and I still take it today here and there, but they would just put me on prednisone, because that was the only thing that would shrink any of this tissue in my sinuses. It would shrink it down. And literally within a week of taking that stuff, I would start feeling 10 times better. Everything would feel better. Wouldn't feel like crap at all. But of course, some doctors don't like using that medicine because it does affect other things on your body, which I understand, but I'd rather take it to fix this short-term problem than worry about long-term issues down the road. Because trust me, I'll probably have more issues even than what the medicine gives me. I've had very heavy coughing low grade fever, and even passed out a couple times. Jeez, dude. Man. Okay. I've never had that, so. Ooh. I mean, I've had fevers before, yeah. And yes, I get heavy coughing because I have asthma, so that is, I've had oh, what do I want to say? Ammonia. I had pneumonia once. Having that asthma is so dangerous to get that, but it's scary for sure. When all of a sudden you have these weird outbreaks of like, whoa, what's going on? Why am I feeling this way? That's really, some cases, my sinuses kind of least my worries. Ever since I was a kid, I was always some form of sickness. I mean, most people get their tonsils out, so that's not really a major issue. But I had, I forgot what it's called, but I had this picked in me when I was very young to help get medicine in me directly and all that stuff. And then I was, I think, 12 or something around there. I had a seizure. Something would just, it was a very fluke thing. I had fluid around my brain and it just shocked me and it blocked me out, basically. So it was a very fluke thing. And like, I think 2 weeks after I had into that, I was back in the hospital because I had a stomach virus, but because they were worried about the medicine I was taking, because of the sinus issues, they were worried something was going on with that. So I had back in the hospital again. I was like so fed up with everything. I was so young. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. End me already. I'm tired of this, you know. But then pretty much after that, everything kind of was calm for the most part, besides my sinuses and everything else. So first yet, I'm into the Olympics, and they was well underway during that time. Oh man. Yeah, I've been in the hospital quite a lot of times, but not anything super severe, just things that, I think the only severe thing I really went through was having that seizure. Like I said, it was the weirdest thing. I could even remember the whole thing all the way up to when I passed out. Playing a video game, go figure. But it was a motocross game. Some kind of, it was not like Supercross. It was some kind of off-road motorcycle game. And I was on the last lap, and the start finish line was on the other side of a big massive hill jump. Literally the lap before, I started getting this kind of headache. It was a mild headache, wasn't severe or anything like it, just felt it. I said, well, once I'm done with this, I'll probably stop.
Exit right.
And literally I come on, the last lap, coming of that last final jump, and boom, just blanked out. Now, it's funny, my parents swore I never woke up. Never woke up until I was finally in a room in one of the emergency rooms, or the intensive care, I think it was, or whatever it was. But I swore I woke up a little bit in the ambulance, because even though it was like very, like, I didn't particularly like see anyone, I could hear sirens, I could hear noise, sound like sirens, and some lights. So I most woke up a little bit, enough to where I could see those. Not coherent or anything like that, but it was enough. So, but then I finally fully woke up. I was finally in a room, and even though I believe I was 12, what's happened? 12 or 13. I woke up. I'm looking straight up at the ceiling, and I start looking around. And I go, oh, yeah, what now? You know, I'm like, what now possibly happened to me? I was like, really? But yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It's the only time, and they said it's fluke, and you probably never have one again the rest of your life. So, I'm like, all right, well. And that's the thing about me. Like, my illnesses I have are not like they're life-threatening or they're super dangerous per se. They're just a nuisance. And those nuisances add up after a while. And it compounds on me, and I'm like, all right, enough. I always say, I always get everything's in twos. I always do. It's like, I get this plus maybe not necessarily in that same time frame, but pretty close, within a week, something else happens. Or I get one thing, and then I get next, like, I broke my ankle. I was looking at the lumberyard this time when I was on cleaning there. I broke my ankle, and well, the bone to the ankle. At the same time that's happening, I started to get massive toothache, and I couldn't really move that well. And I'm like, man, I do not want to be going to the freaking dentist while I have a broken ankle. It's not going to be easy to move around. So it was like in the ICU, they take patients where they're close. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was ICU. I mean, I was 12, 13, so I didn't know where I was, but like what section of the hospital I was in. But like they said, they didn't know what necessarily caused it. They just, I mean, in the sense of like why I had fluid around my brain like they did, that caused that. So it was, when you naturally have fluid around your brain, but something caused one of my neurons or whatever in my brain to zap there, and it just kind of, literally my brain shocked me. It's kind of how they put it. My own brain shocked me. I'm like, what? It's like my own brain's telling me to stop playing video games. Now look at me. Oh shit. That's gonna happen again, right? But, alright, well. It was weird. And you laugh about it now. I mean, of course it was serious back then. But you know, it was weird, because I was 12, 13, so still had that kid in me where I had toys and stuff. And I had this slot car track. Back then it was most like road course style racetracks for slot cars. And I had that all set up, and I usually play that once in a while. I absolutely was peed off because, of course, my mom freaked out when she heard me. Thankfully, she heard me go hit, thump on the ground. Came in, but of course, they're worried, about me. They don't care about my stuff, and they will just ransack over the slot machine track and broke pieces off to where it would connect. So I'm livid about that. And of course, when you're in an emergency, they have to cut your shirt, and it happened to be one of my favorite shirts, so that was taking me off more than about me having a seizure. So you showed that brain. I know, right? Yeah. You told me I had to play games. Screw you. I'll play games as long as I want. Yeah, but it was weird. I've always had like I said, I've always had oddball things happen to me. Not necessarily like common things that, I mean, it happens to people, but there's no rhyme and reason to any of what I've had wrong with me. Usually there's connections and why, oh, well, this happened because of this happened and this why. But my stuff is completely random. It's always random. So I don't get it. The only one connection was the medicine to my seizure medicine, and they thought that was causing me because I was very sick, and I was like, oh, I can't keep anything down. I was throwing up as soon as I even touched anything, and that's what they were thinking. Oh, it's your medicine. We gotta see if that's what's causing it. At the end, they determined I just had a stomach bug or stomach virus. I was in the hospital for a week just for that. I could have been home, but they, like usual, being back then, they didn't have things that could test that well, so I was in a week just for them to diagnose, well, you just had stomach virus. Maybe caused by your medicine, but not 100% sure. So why was I here for a week? Well, also they said my white count was low. We want to get your white count back up. Now it's funny. I don't say it's funny, but they said my white count was low. But every time I talk about my asthma, they say, oh, you have too much white cells. That's why you have asthma. Something about that. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I've had asthma since I was 3 years old. That makes no sense. So, I mean, there's different reasons why your white count goes low, but you still have asthma and things. But I've seen a guy 35 years old that played Pokemon game thing 1 from 3 p.m. December 31st to January 3. Oh, it's a, oh yeah, I'm well, let's be very clear. I am trying to do this to eventually be monetized, to make money, to make living doing this. The living part, and I'll tell you the truth, my parents don't understand it either. What's so fun about this? And I keep trying to tell my mom, it's about entertainment. It's not necessarily I'm playing games. It's to entertain you guys. That's the main reason. You know, I'm chatting, I'm driving, yeah, I may not look entertaining, but there's something stupid that's gonna happen. I'm gonna be a part of it, and there's your entertainment value. So, it passed slight blood, but only at certain times. Not versus, but for some reason, never had an issue with blood in video games. Well, I'm not no doctor here, but I'm just trying to. Maybe the reason for it is because you can interpret that game. Everything in game is fake, even blood. In reality, when it comes to real life scenarios, your body, you know, right? You know, like, oh, that's real. You know, that shouldn't be. You shouldn't be seeing blood. Versus a game where it's all pixels, so sometimes that can happen. FPS is 99% fun. Yes, and let's be very clear. I know you've been seeing a lot more iRacing on this channel. It's not because I don't like Wreckfest anymore. Is that once you exhaust it, especially for me, it's not necessarily fun anymore. It's like you're like, okay, I've done it for a while. Let me kind of take a break and let me do something else. That thing makes me feel like I'm don't have to do one thing all the time, and it doesn't exhaust me. Eventually it would become boring and tiresome. It's like I can't get through this intersection and get nailed. Okay. Oops. Oh, wrong one. Hit the wrong button. So yeah, even with movies, because I pass out time. Really? Well, like I said, I'm no doctor, so but I can handle any amount of my own blood. Well, that's your own blood. I mean, it's. I'll tell you right now. When someone throws up, I mean, just the sound of someone throwing up like that, it makes me want to just hurl right then and there, even if I don't see it. But when I do it, I'm like, whatever. It's natural for me, I guess. I don't throw up on time of throw up, like, you know, it's weird. So, see, that's my theory on what happened to Ed's. Probably. I mean, maybe he just got really tired of doing Wreckfest. He didn't probably have anything else he felt like could be, he can enjoy, or just life got to him. I mean, I didn't know if that was his full-time gig. I mean, he had over 500,000 subscribers, but I'm not sure if he was doing YouTube full-time and something happened where he couldn't do it anymore, or...
Keep right, and then turn right.
I mean, I'll be very clear. Even if this does work out for me, and YouTube does come some kind of success for me, I don't know if I'm ever going to be doing this for the rest of my life. Because things can change. You can change. Hell, maybe in 30 years YouTube doesn't exist and something else happens. You know, we don't know. But if I can start doing it now, get that money and stuff like that, then maybe, just maybe, things can change for the better for me. And then if down the road something has to change, I'm prepared to. If I have to get a job, I have money to save aside and things, so I don't suffer right away. This few streamer, their entertainment isn't so much gaming stuff, but more engagement and conversation. Yeah, that's kind of how I take it. Entertainment value comes in, but also engaging with you and everyone. Like, it's gonna suck because I would like to talk to you guys while I'm doing iRacing, but one, the speech chat thing is not working anymore. I don't know why. I've tried to figure that out. But two, it is hard to concentrate talking to you guys while racing, because it takes almost 110% focus to be racing. You know, especially when you're racing with other people. Oh, guys there. I beat this. Oh, car there. Just in the wrong spot. Wreckfest is, yeah, it's, you know, it's fun. It's fun. But like I said, you know, I exhausted when, especially when I did the career mode. 33 parts of the career mode, and sometimes I can. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Got to stop. I was so tired. Like, okay, oh my god, it's finally over. I tried to do some more after the fact, but then it was like a lot, and I've watched my analytics too, and though I'm seeing decent numbers, it was also, but it wasn't like the same kind of numbers, and I was like, maybe I should just kind of take a break, do some things I want to do, and then come back to it where it will boost it up again. But I mean, I've had, like, if I looked at
Go straight on.
the beginning of the career mode, I was getting 600, 700 views for one episode, and it was great. But I think maybe out of the 700, maybe 2% were subscribing, so that was like, And I'm not saying it wouldn't happen again. I do plan to try to do that tournament thing on Wreckfest, but down the road when I know the frustration, and get frustrated. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The frustration can come out with the AI, even though that's what they're made to do. They're made to crash. They're made to wreck. But sometimes it's like they target you, and I'm like, why are you targeting me? It's like race a little bit. Wreck is one thing, but you're absolutely going out of your way to hit me when we're racing. It just seems pretty stupid to me, but it was getting just very irritating. But yeah, so this, like I said, this is kind of how my live stream is going to be when all those leaks start up. Once those leaks start up, that's how it's going to be. That iRacing is going to be becoming the main priority. If that's the case, then what I'm going to do is I want to get a few more of those races out for iRacing, the AI racing. And then after that, I probably will switch over to doing more Wreckfest to counteract that, plus for what I'm doing for live streaming. Not sure when I'm going to start that. Maybe next month. And you don't even do all the events, and you didn't even do all the events in. Yeah, I didn't. I was like, I'm not doing all of them. I was like, as soon as I pass, I'm like, good, done. It sucks that the tournament mode isn't updated anymore. I did it video each month when it updated these videos. It's really good, but they stopped. Yeah. I mean, when I do it, who knows if it's gonna be good or not for people's liking, but it was IQ AI. What yeah, do IQ, yeah. I mean, that's kind of from what I got from this game is that they're meant to not be smart, but I thought they would at least be intelligent enough to race you, not necessarily just wreck you all the time. So they do that, and it's annoying for sure. So like I said, Wreckfest will come back. It's just gonna be maybe a little more hiatus, be more sporadic, not bunched up. I'm trying to find a good schedule also for this channel when it comes to recording when to do that, because I still have a main channel I do for NASCAR news and stuff. That's actually my main YouTube channel. I have 309 subscribers on that one, so I don't want my priority than this one, but if I'm going to live streams, I wanted to build this up too. So yeah, they have 72 events in rear. Yeah. I was like, don't ask me to do it again. Have you not watched Banger Race? I've watched lots of races, YouTube for Wreckfest for sure. I know what they do. It's just I was like, not thinking it'd be that bad for me, I had them on I thought the amateur thing carried over, but I guess for career mode, they get stronger and harder to beat on purpose. Like, they make them harder. It's not set on what you set it on. It's based on what they want it. So I figured it'd be very easy. If it got too easy, I would have changed it, but it was just downright hard all the time. So, and remember, I come from a background of just racing, not actually intentionally wrecking people. So knowing that, I was like, when they started wrecking me, it's hard to get into that mode to wreck, just to keep wrecking people. So I've seen in one NASCAR Legend mode. Drivers just hit wall, backed up. Driving wall again over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty dumb for sure. Oh, real life banger race. Not like that. I haven't seen it.
Take the second exit.
I mean, I watched Demolition Derby. Seen that real life.
Exit now.
I've never seen actually intentional wrecking like that
Go straight on.
for racing. No. Now is NASCAR coming that? Yeah, a little. You watch NASCAR on Sunday. My God, that's all they. Getting the race was alright, but then they just started to just. Oh, Rob Chastain started to be Chastain again. Oh God. No, I've never seen banger races in real life.
Keep left and then turn left. Turn left.
Yeah, we're right here. What happens when you start chatting people? Time flies when you're having fun. That's the thing about iRacing too. I mean, when I get into the league, those races are probably going to be, well, OCRP, I'm assuming is going to be half the distance of real life races. So let's say we're doing the racing at Daytona, doing the Daytona 500. It'd be 100 laps at Daytona. If we are okay, Darlington, if they go off in the 500 miles, it would be half the distance of that would be like 134 laps or something like that. So, there are actual races called banger races, and people just plowed into people. Just take. There's more racing than breakfast than what. Okay. So I've never heard of that. I've Demolition Derby I've heard, but never seen actually that stuff. So in the U.S., and I can understand why. All right, see what the next one here. Holy crap! I've been doing this already an hour. You're right. Time flies when you're having fun. Holy shit. Well, I'm gonna get a few more in, guys. Cars look just as bad as Demolition Derby after the race. Like I said, I never thought he would do that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm assuming that if they're just street legal cars, I mean, I'm assuming they have roll cages in them for safety, but that is not gonna have a lot of safety if you're racing that fast and just. But hey, I mean, who hasn't want to just touch wreck someone when you're on the streets, right? Acting idiots. Alrighty, let's go into Idaho, my best bud. I watched the World Daytona and the Daytona 500 as far as car race. Yeah, the Daytona 24 hours Daytona. I practically watch that almost now every year. It's probably the even though it's 24-hour racing and you really don't see much action per se, like battle wise, it definitely shows the endurance of racing that you don't see a lot in other races. Like in 24 hours, even though modern day technology has grown tremendously, and where you don't see engine failures, you don't see a lot of problems with cars, there's still where that weird mechanical issue is going to pop up and can put you laps down. But then, because of the rest of the field can have issues, you can go like 5 laps down and come back on the lead lap and still win the thing. So that's what endurance racing is supposed to mean, is that even though you may have issues, you never give up and you still have a chance to win. I remember back in 2010 or so, in that era, where teams would be, I remember, almost like 10, 15 laps down. They get all their laps back. Maybe not win, but they'll be in the top 5. I remember actually, I'm trying to remember, I think it was 2015 or in that range, that where drivers would literally, it would be almost the whole field would be a lap down, besides the leader. It would be multiple laps down. And by the time you got to the end of the race, you had half the field of the Daytona prototypes would be back on the lap. You would see, and then they would be battle for the lead with an hour left. It's like, wait, you were like 15 laps down. How'd you get back on the lead lap? And then, of course, I never stayed up all night. I tried once. I promise you, I tried once to watch when they actually had it on TV all the time. Now it's split up everywhere. I used to try to watch it one time throughout the whole night, and I got to about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I passed out. I was like, okay, can't do it. I've tried, but now it's all split up everywhere. It's on TV for sometimes, and overnight it's online. So then after that, you don't really care. So the cars look like derby cars, but they race on like racing, huh? They have 3 or 4. Let's see, they have 3 or 4 drivers per car, so I get. Yeah, they get average of 3 to 4 drivers. You can have, I think the minimum was 3. You can have more than 3. You can even have more than 4, but usually they only have roughly 3 to 4. You have to have a pro driver in one to collect points. You have to, but then if you have a rookie, the rookie has to get acquired. I think I want to say 50 minutes or to an hour, I believe, of race time in. And usually that's why they put the rookies in first, is because they want to get their stints out first before they can go and race the rest of the race in. But they usually have the rookies go in, they'll race for an hour or two, then they'll put a veteran in, kind of make the difference for a little bit, and then they cycle through. It's kind of funny. They usually let the rookies, or the ones that just have the less experience, run either right when it's going to nighttime or right to morning, because they want their the pro drivers to be ready for the end, so they can make up the difference at the end. So they have them doing what's the nighttime, the 2 a.m. Runs that no one else wants to do. All right.
Ready to roll.
I'm glad they start at 2 p.m. instead of noon, so I can see the end of the music getting done. Yeah, I'm glad that they have changed that. They used to start noon. Reason why they actually stopped doing that, I think, and this is just more my opinion than anything, they used to start the race at noon, and by the time the race was done on Sunday, a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people were either in church or they were doing something else during the morning hours, and people wouldn't get time to see it. Also, they wanted to have more of an event there, because when you are starting at noon, people will probably show up. The gates will probably open at 8 a.m., but most people don't show up until 10. So most people wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't have enough time to do any kind of events and stuff like that to not do anything. So I think pushing it back just meant that they could get more things done during the morning time, and just so people can enjoy Daytona for what it is. And also, I'll tell you right now, majority of this also it has to do with TV. TV has changed dramatically on
Go straight on.
what you see today. NASCAR used to start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so always 1 p.m. Eastern, always. It didn't matter. Well, the East Coast or the West Coast was different. It did start at 3, but if it was on the East Coast, 1 o'clock all the time. But then TV started to realize that the viewership was tanking, was starting to slow down bad during the afternoons and Sundays. But they saw an uptick around 3, 4 o'clock. And they thought, okay, well, let's shift the start time to about 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, I personally feel like that what they were seeing was that most people were just tuning in to see the finish of the race and not necessarily caring about the beginning of it. And so they shifted. Well, now we're just seeing the same thing what we saw at 1 that's happening at 2. You'll see just a slight uptick during the beginning. It'll fall off midpoint, then it'll come back up during the end of the race because people want to see the finish. And that's just what you see. Now, this is where that debate comes in. Oh, should races be shortened so people can stay and watch the whole thing and it's not 3 hours long? If I want to watch an hour and a half race, I just jump on iRacing and just do a short race for myself, because I feel like the challenge of like the NASCAR series has always been that you had to, it was a marathon for them. They had to push their machines. I mean, I understand now today with the technology that you can't blow motors anymore. It's rare, super rare to blow motors. And if you do, it's like something, you got a faulty part really bad. But back in the day, engines were so fragile, and yet they were making these engines crank out 900 to 950 horsepower, and they just fine with brake after so many miles. But now, one, the engines are choked off at 670, and there's no horsepower whatsoever, that these just don't die. I like the Tour de France too. They started doing the final in Paris. Back here. Paris later in the day so we can get a shot of the sunset. So sunset. Yeah. I'm not totally into bike racing, but I've watched it. I mean, who doesn't? When something historic, I tend to watch it, but I usually don't watch the whole thing. I mean, usually what I do is I'll watch like the beginning of it, because they're always bunched up in a pack. Not that I want to watch people fall off their bikes, wreck, but you're waiting for that to happen. It's like they do it on purpose so like people don't they're conserving their energy, but it's like, God, one person makes one mistake and half that group's going down. It's just and I actually have a number, I forget what year it is. A couple years? I don't remember, but some person decided to stick their sign out in front of a biker just to get a shot of the camera, right? And the biker had no idea, and boom, nails the freaking sign. He goes crashing down, knocks a few other people down with him. I'm like, that's ridiculous, dude. I'm pretty sure that dude got a nice ride home and a band for life, probably. That's just dumb. I know you can't control everyone and stuff like that, but that's just dumbest thing ever. So, how about tomorrow quickly? I'm gonna shoot to try to do some iRacing tomorrow. What sucks is, well, this week in real life, the trucks in the Cup Series go to the North Wilkesboro, old classic racetrack. It's been reborn. But in iRacing, they have the trucks going there, but they have Xfinity Series and the Cup Series going to Texas, which is stupid. Now, I get Texas, or maybe the Xfinity Series, but Cup Series has the All-Star race. Why are we not doing the, or at least having the Cup Series and iRacing go to North Wilkesboro? It's so stupid. Why we don't have it? But, I'll try to do some iRacing tomorrow when it comes to, at least doing trucks. And I also want to do some more off-road dirt racing, because Idaho got me into doing that now, and I can't stop. We want to do that. And since now I'm I got it out rookie, and now I can do the Pro 4 trucks. I want to do those, but I think they moved the finish to historic town. Nice, fancy. Yeah, like I said, I don't really watch it, so I don't know anything about, like, who's the best rider and all that stuff, so. I mean, what was it? Who? Neil Armstrong? Or Neil? I forgot who it was. Some famous biker, but, remember he got banned for cheating or banned for something. I don't remember. Or fault something. I don't remember, but pretty bad scandal happened with a bike. But Lance Armstrong. Yeah, okay. It was some Armstrong. I don't remember, but yeah, definitely. Me, I just stick with NASCAR. I mean, I watch IndyCar. I watch the open wheels, that stuff. Occasionally, I watch F1, but I'm not. F1 was. Moving. Oh, illegal substance. Ah, okay. I didn't know exactly what it was. Something. Oh, gotta stop. Ah, we're good. Well, I'm in. Too bad. I'm coming over. Oh, what? Oh, not this again. I thought turn these off. Oh, well. How long is this gonna add to my time? 4 hours? Another 2 hours? Are you kidding me? Ah, hi. Thought I turned those off. Alright, well, oh well. Shouldn't take too long. If I can do 70 miles per hour, I'll be alright. So anyways, yeah. Tomorrow will be probably iRacing. Wednesday, try to do a breakfast, maybe some a little bit. I don't know, quite yet, but And then we'll see what this week is in store for iRacing, for any leagues or anything they want to do until we get back to official league racing. U-turn, that's was cancer, but they classed it as it performance enhancing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't remember. I wasn't. I remember something of it, but I didn't remember it was right back. So. So, if the schedule works out when I'm thinking it works out, way hoping it works all out, you know, dude, yep. I'm hoping that Tuesdays, even though I'll do ATS or breakfast, I want to maybe make Tuesdays also a free night, basically. Any game I choose to do. Not necessarily put down just to 2, because I do have some other games I have. I just don't necessarily play them. I have ghost hunting thing, phobia, whatever it's called, thing you call it. But it's I purchased it, but I've never played it yet because it's so it's scary. I've never been scared of a game. But also, eventually down the road, I want to purchase The Last of Us. I watched other people play it. It's been fantastic. I watched the series on HBO. That was fantastic. I definitely want to play the game. Never played the game, so and I think they've gotten all the bugs out of it. So hopefully it should be alright, where it shouldn't be bad to play. But I definitely want to get those get that game. But going to start watching the United States Grand Prix and F1 racing. Actually, at the Road of America's. Oh, Circuit of America. Yeah. Let's be. I'm not that I hate on F1. Like, oh, I can care less about it. Their racing is just not my kind of racing. It's all strategy. It's not. They can't pass. They can't pass worth a damn. At some tracks they can. Actually, I think Circuit of America is probably a good track for them because they do have longer places for the DRS, and so they're able to get more passing done. But they just don't have the ability to pass. With all the extra crap of aerodynamics on those cars, they have really a lot of dirty air. It's just hard to pass, and they're always equal. So it's more about entertainment value. They're into the entertainment business. They're into trying to hype up the event, but then in reality, it's always garbage. I'm not stuck. But I don't. It's not that I hate them. I'm not trying to bash them. But when it comes to NASCAR, I don't know if you did see the Kansas race, but that was probably the best race we've seen in a long time. When it comes, at least at that track, and that was a lot of passes for the lead, a lot of passes for just throughout the whole race, and then the final laps. Of course, we had a little fight at the end. Who doesn't like a little fight? So we had a lot of things. F1, it's all about pitch strategy. Who's gonna be on this tire cycle? Who's gonna have the better tire wear at the end? Who's gonna have the better tires just in general? And it's just it's a pit war, not necessarily racing, and I just can't get into that stuff. I've seen a guy play the Last of Us video game. Looks really good. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now, I am totally want to play that game. I've watched multiple people play it, and it's so much fun. And being that I have never played it, gets me a my perspective of how to play it. I mean, I've seen other people play it, so I kind of will know where to go and how to do things. But to do it myself will be different. Like, do I use more? Am I more stealthy, or do I use more guns? Will I use my hands more hands-on sort of thing? You know, everyone's kind of different in the way they play a game. So me, I'd probably would do more stealth because it'd just be so much a lot more fun to do stealth. But I mean, sometimes you have to shoot. There's no way around it. These things more time-based instead of doing. Oh, well, the F1 race, they do laps. They still do the lap racing. It's based on, so how do I explain this? It's regular racing. The thing is, because they know they can't pass, what they try to do is leapfrog in one by trying to be on the best tire wear. If you can have most races, they either use the yellow tires, so the medium tires, or the white tires, so the hard tires. Most of the time. Now, the soft tires, they usually use in the beginning of the race to max out the maximum speed, to get the maximum grip and speed out of the car early, so they can lengthen people out. So because of that, they then try to find the best strategy to maintain that speed without sacrificing the amount of grip in the car throughout a run, so they don't slow down. So usually they run the mediums to hards, and it's typical, almost clockwork every race. They start out with softs or maybe mediums, and then they go to hards, and then the rest of that's just then trying to hopefully leapfrog. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but usually have one team that dominates. It usually Red Bull. Right now, this year it's Red Bull, and then they're on a streak for about 5 to 6 years, and then it switches again. You find someone else. Like the last 5 years or 6 years, I think, was McLaren, like with Lewis Hamilton, and now it's switched to Red Bull. And so they'll do that for about another 5 to 6 years, and they'll switch to another team. In NASCAR, you don't know who's going to win every week. I mean, Denny Hamlin won at Kansas this week. We thought it was going at Darlington. We thought it was Martin Truex Jr. Hands down, he had the fastest car. Nope, it was the 24 William Byron. It changes all the time because, one, yes, pit strategy does have something to do with it, but also you never know who all of a sudden how good the car can be, and then boom, they're faster. It changes dramatically. So I mean, Truex was the fastest, and all of a sudden Ross Chastain out of nowhere started picking up more speed. Truex's car started falling off. He couldn't get the car to turn. He was super tight, and Chastain, well, he caught him, and then he started doing some dumb crap at the end, but that's Ross Chastain for you. I'm not a stealthy player. Oh. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm not either, but I can do it if I need to. That sort of thing. I can't do it, but yeah. If I have to, I will. The electric Grand Prix is my favorite. They only use electric cars instead of the normal pit stop. They just move over to another car. Yeah. I don't want. How should I say this? If everything went to electric, racing wise,
Keep right and then exit.
all I'll be doing is playing video games because I can't get into electric vehicles. I can't.
Exit right.
I just can't. It's just not. They're not for me. And the thing is, the one thing about NASCAR, and that's what keeps me wanting to come back and watch it, is the sound. If I went to watch electric. Oh my lord! Hello, car. Yeah. No, I'd stay home. If I had to watch just electric cars, and literally, I'm sorry, sometimes they sound like nails on a chalkboard when they go around track. That screeching noise is not fun.
Exit right.
But what NASCAR brings, that raw sound from the engine, that's what I was always brought up on, and I just be no way I could.
Left.
Oh, you have to stop. You have to stop. I didn't think
Turn left.
I will once. The red light. Let's wait for green, am I? They have green. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the racing is bad. I've seen it before. Racing is good. Race, just like normal racing. It sounds just for me. The pure raw sound of an engine is better for me. I can do it, but I have more of a run and gun in my face type of game. What? That's sort of playing Red Dead Redemption 2. The Western style. Going guns a-blazing. I still play that, even though that game's been out for years, and it took me, I think, actually 2 years after it came out just to buy it. I still play it because the storyline's so good. It's so good. So that's why it's like, can't even stop playing it, even though I played it multiple times. And of course, who doesn't like the awesome Red Dead shots and here, okay, you know, just headshot, headshot, headshot.
Go straight on.
Yeah, I get the environmental thing. I understand that. But to me, it's still, sound is a key part of racing too.
Keep left.
And I don't want.
Turn left.
Because I'll say this: there was a they did a story on a lady that was blind, but only reason why she could even enjoy life the way she did, or even, like, watch racing. She loved racing, but she never seen it. But the reason why she knows about it is because of the sound and the vibration, and she felt like, you know, and she actually got into a race car with Jeff Burton, and she, just by feel and sound, knew that, oh hey, we're going to a banking, we're turning. What? Oh, well, you left, you got closer to the wall. She could hear the sound and the difference, a compression of sound with the exhaust vibrating off the wall. She could tell that he was getting closer to a wall versus being further away. She's totally blind, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Now, for her, if they went to electric, she wouldn't have anything. To her, it was like, well, nah, I can't watch it, or I can't listen to it anymore because I can't hear it. So, and don't get me wrong, NASCAR themselves are trying to go in a better way. I mean, it was supposed to be next year, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. But they were supposed to try to go to a hybrid engine. Now, will it be more still gasoline? Yes. but they're using electric components for extra boost, if you will, and that's where the electric part comes in. Maybe when they're off,
Turn right.
when they're under caution, they're able to shut off the engine and just use electric power.
It's all over now.
But it still be driven by gasoline, so you still get that engine noise. Oh. There. Right now, I still won't trust electric vehicles right now. There's just so many bugs and glitches right now that still, to me, I mean, they have things out there that they have cars that they can drive themselves, and I'm like, nope. If I'm not in control, I ain't driving it. I need to be controlled when it comes to driving purposes. Run a car, do it itself, and there've been issues. There's been issues for them a lot. Where it'll think it needs to turn, and reality it doesn't. So people are. I mean, yes, they do. It's self-driven, but you still can control it if it starts going out of line. So. I'm just electrical, smart cars, and things like that. I'm just not into right now. Eventually, the government's gonna force you to go down that path, anyways. Though I don't understand how they're gonna do it because most of the economy's broke right now. So, I've seen a prank video with NASCAR. This lady got into a cab going to Charlotte racetrack for a meet and greet, but she didn't know Dale Jarrett was the cab driver. And a few policemen, a volunteer. I've seen a lot of. They've done prank shows, and like, "Oh, you know, Junior." Some people would like some drivers would do like go to like restaurants or things and be them. Like, wow, you look Dale Jr., but they're complete. Like they've done like makeovers themselves. Make them look different, but they still kind of have some identity to to themselves. And like, man, you look familiar. You look kind of like a Dale Jr. Yeah, I get that a lot, you know. My car can basically drive itself, but it's on gas power. Yeah. And I want to be very clear to you guys. I'm not against this stuff. Okay, I'm not against electric cars. I'm not against things. If you feel comfortable by doing it, by all means, do it. I'm just not. That's how I take it. So, that's my only beef when people like say it and then they go, oh, you should do this. Well, I'm not comfortable with it. So, and right now, financially, I could not afford one of those cars. So, to help, you can imagine what they. Can imagine what into. Oh yeah, I mean that it's for them when when she was blind, and to have her feel like she was part of racing and community because it was like she said that's the only thing that she knew was to hear the sound and the vibration. She and I tell you right now, I would love for her to be a if I could have her be a test driver, and not say a test driver per se, because obviously you can't see, but like be in the passenger seat and help test a car. She would be the best person because she could tell the feel of a car. It'd go off the seat of her pants more than using her eyes or her hands. She could just feel it. She could hear it. She could like, okay, you're getting loose here. You're tight here. I feel like you need to be more this way. You're drifting to the wall more too fast or too. That right there, any driver would love to have that ability to feel like that. it's some people tend to take for granted that because you can see, you think that's all you need to know how to drive a race car. And look, when I do iRacing, I'm only using maybe 20% of my skills of racing because I use my eyeballs and I use the feel of the steering wheel. I don't have a big sim rig that moves around and shakes around, or I'm not even in a real race car. I don't know what I'm actually really feeling. But to her, she feels everything. She hears everything. I'm like, I would love to have that ability to hone in your other senses to be better. Any driver would love to have that. But yeah, I mean, it was cool that they did that for her too, and to make her have that dream to do that. Yeah, it's like, whoa, this is insane. But you could just tell, like, I would love to have that. So yeah, I like having a control myself, but the steering wheel, it keeps me from grip it tight and just barely rest my hands on it. More comfortable. Yeah, and like I said, man, I'm not against those cars. Technology grows, and you know, I'll tell you the truth. You know how old school I am, even though how young I am. I'm being 32. I don't even use cruise control. That's how old school I am. I've always been a person that feels like if I don't have control of, especially when it comes to things like vehicles, it I'm helpless. Like if something went wrong with that car and I couldn't control it, I'd feel helpless. Like my life's about to end here. So I mean, anything can happen, even if you are controlling a vehicle. But you know, well, for me, I want one less thing to worry about when I'm driving. So, but yeah, that's all. I mean, I'm not asking anyone who has it. A lot of people enjoy them, and to them, it's a lot easier. So I have no I'm not ill will to those technologies. It's not for me yet. Well, it is past 9:30 here, so I'm going to call it a night for live streaming. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be back on tomorrow for iRacing. Do trucks at North Wilkesboro. Probably most likely gonna wreck. Most likely get caught up in a wreck. Mostly not finished any of those races, but I don't care. North Wilkesboro is fun. It's a fun track, and I want to do it. So, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And have a good rest of your night. See you next time.